am Felicity Fletcher. I'm an avid reader, I'm a hopeful author, and I'm a practicing witch and astrologer, and I am bringing my weekly astrology videos to YouTube. These are low budget. These are primarily for myself and some of my friends and family that really enjoy it, including my mom. Hi, Mom. But if you are not one of those people and you found this video, welcome. I hope you can learn something, or I hope this helps you have the best week possible. Let's get into it. So today I'm covering the astrology of Sunday, January 26th through Saturday, February 1st. I like to start by looking at what the moon's going to be doing during the week. So let's get started. On Sunday the 26th, the moon is moving into Capricorn. This is a very serious, rigid, strict energy. It feels a little constraining. It feels like it's getting in the way of things. But one of the things to remember about Capricorn specifically, but with the moon being in Capricorn, is there's an ambitious aspect to it. So this structure that's being put in place we're putting it in place to move forward. So it feels very rigid, but the idea is that it's feeling rigid to push us forward. Then on Tuesday the 28th, the moon is going to be moving into Aquarius, which kind of drops a lot of that very seriousness, a lot of that very rigidness. Please excuse my cat, who has some opinions apparently about this Aquarius moon. When the moon's in Aquarius, again, we lose a little bit of that rigidness, and we kind of gain a sense of idealism. We gain kind of a push. We still have a little bit of that ambitiousness, and that ambitiousness is a push to create a better world for ourselves and our community and our society. And we're very idealistic about how that's going to be done. When the moon's in Aquarius, we tend to have very little tolerance for things that get in our way, for things that hold us back, or even for people. When the moon's in Aquarius, I especially feel like I really don't want to be bothered by people. So you may be feeling that a little bit as well. The other thing is Aquarius is all about expect the unexpected. So during this Aquarius moon, get ready for things that are going to be new, that are going to be unusual, that you don't really understand, you're not really expecting, but it's all usually for the good. I get a feeling this Aquarius moon is going to be bringing in some good things. Because this Aquarius moon also on the 29th is a new moon. New moons are a blank slate. They are a fresh start. They are what we build off of. So this new moon in Aquarius, again, this is that fresh slate that we're building off of. And so that is bringing us a restless yearning for freedom. Aquarius wants us to truly be free, not promises of freedom, not what freedom has been skewed to mean in modern times, but truly, truly free. And it is going to be really restless because we have a shaky platform to build off of. It's shaky. The foundation's not really there. So we feel restless. We feel like we're really yearning to do this. We are really going to be feeling ideals that are not yet reality. There's going to be a lot of people too that are pushing for their ideals. And everybody's ideals are a little bit different depending on what you've seen of society and how society has treated you. So people are not really going to be seeing eye to eye during this new moon. There are going to be a lot of people that have a lot of optimism, that feel very ambitious, that feel like it's time to change the world. It's time to organize. I see us having a lot of activism happening around this new moon and after this new moon, because the new moon energy is going to stick around for a couple weeks. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be pretty harsh. There's going to be conflict. And we have to remember for ourselves that people are chasing after their own ideals. So if we're not seeing eye to eye, we can take the responsibility, because we know what's going on, to figure out where the disconnect is. Where our experience is differing. Where can we try to bridge that gap? And where can we change what we see or how people see us? Then on Thursday, the 30th, the moon's going to be moving into Pisces. So it's moving away from that Aquarius energy, moving into Pisces. I'll be honest with you, I have a whole lot of Capricorn in my chart, and I do not like when the moon is in Pisces. I am very structure oriented. I like having plans in place. I like having to-do lists. And the Pisces moon does not like any of that. Pisces moon has a very mystical quality. When talking about the Pisces moon, I try to talk about the positives of it. I'm not always successful, but I feel like mystical quality is a good way to discuss it. Pisces moons tend to feel very dreamlike, and things that feel possible in dreams feel possible in real life, or even real life takes on like a dreamlike quality where it's like, is this really what's happening? There are a lot of illusions during the Pisces moon, and we do need to be watching out for those. Things may not be as they seem, or people may be manipulating us to see things the way they want us to see them. The other warning with the Pisces moon is that it tends to take down our boundaries. We tend not to enforce boundaries with other people, and then you get people that are really in your space or in your energy that you don't need there. And so it's really important that if you are having conflicts with people during the Pisces moon, ask yourself, are there boundaries being crossed here that I'm not enforcing? That will help you have a better Pisces moon this week. Finally, on Saturday the 1st, the moon's moving into Aries. This is our fresh start. So Aries is the first sign of astrology. So it is the fresh start. It is always the new opportunity. When the moon is in Aries, we tend to be very direct, we tend to be very impulsive, and we tend to really push forward towards what we want without really thinking about the consequences. So when the moon's in Aries, we do really need to kind of put some time in place to step back and ask ourselves, this is what we really want? Are these the consequences that we really want? This is the second fresh start this week that is dealing with the moon. So this is going to be a week that has a lot of opportunity to build and create, and it is giving us the foundation that we can really build off of. When we're talking about the moon, we're talking about 28-day cycles. So this week, take some time to really look at what you want to get done in the next 28 days and the next month, really, and figure out what you need to do now to get that done. Moving into the larger planets, so next we have Mercury. It is entering Aquarius on the 28th, so Tuesday. When Mercury is in Aquarius, so Mercury is the planet of communication, of thinking, of learning, and Aquarius is a good place for this to be right now. We are bringing in more Aquarian energy, which is going to get interesting, but specifically with Mercury, we're going to see a hunger for knowledge. So it's just knowledge, and it's not information. We're not searching for information when we're dealing with Aquarius. We're searching for knowledge, for how things work, why things are going the way that they are doing, why people are acting the way that they are. Aquarius is a really good time. Like anytime there's a lot of Aquarius, it is a good time to really look into the science of things, look into psychology, look into fields like that. And we're really going to hunger for that knowledge. It does bring with it a lot of progressive thinking. So Aquarius is a very progressive sign that thinks about community over self. It's also a time that brings a lot of innovation. So while Mercury is in Aquarius, this is the time to kind of lean into new ideas, to open yourself up to creativity, to try new things. If you have a new idea on how to make something work at home, like a new plan of how to get the cleaning done, try it. At work, if you come up with a new process to get your work done, try it. This is the time to try new things. This is also going to be a pretty good time to ask other people to try new things. Mercury is communication, so it does help us with a little bit more open communication to have it in Aquarius. Another note, Uranus is going direct on Thursday the 30th. I just wanted to make a note of that. The larger planets like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, I don't really care when they go retrograde or direct, but that is another planet that is now going direct, pushing us forward. I want to now talk about the aspects that are happening this week. These are aspects that two planets are making with each other and the energy that those bring. So starting on the 26th, on Sunday, Mercury is going to be sextile Neptune, while Venus is sextile Uranus. So the Mercury-Neptune sextile brings with it a lot of relaxation, creativity. It brings with it the kind of focus on art and spiritual stuff. It's not really a productive time. It's more of a time to recover and just to let things happen however you really want them to happen. Work on creative projects that just come up. Don't have a specific plan in place of what you're going to get done that day or what you're going to work on. Just wake up in the morning and just kind of go with the flow and do whatever feels right. And that's where you're going to find a whole bunch of productivity. But just following the creative path projects that just kind of make sense for that moment. The Venus sextile Uranus brings with it some fun, some excitement. This is a energy that's kind of really full of unexpected love. It's a time to make new friends, explore things that you are passionate about. Venus is all about passions, and a lot of times we think about this in terms of romantic passions, but this can also be artwork. This can be luxury goods. This could be just the things around you looking beautiful. And with Uranus, it brings in some unexpectedness with this. So again, go with the flow. Kind of see what draws you. And if it's something that you're not used to doing or you're not used to seeing, do it anyways. Then on the 29th, on Wednesday, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto. This is a very intense energy. Anytime we have Pluto involved, this is intense. We are coming out of a Sun conjunct Pluto and going into Mercury conjunct Pluto. And it's going to bring with it a lot of very serious and dark information being given to us. We, in many ways, as I'm recording this, we are already starting to see some of that happening with the news being not optimistic for some people, for a lot of people, honestly. With just things that are really kind of history that should have been left behind is kind of coming out. This is also a time where propaganda can be spread very easily. So we need to pay close attention to what's being told to us, why it's being told to us, and is it even true? This energy brings with it a whole bunch of anxiety. So if you are already susceptible to high anxiety, it's not your fault if it gets worse. The other thing, especially for people who have anxiety, that I like to remind you of is the energy changes. So on the 30th, Mercury will be moving away from Pluto, and that energy will not be as strong, and that anxiety will not be there as much. There could be a lot of very serious and profound things that happen during this energy. We can realize some very deep stuff about ourselves or about the people around us or the society around us. So be open to massive realizations. It can be very scary. Again, high anxiety, but when we know it's coming, we can be a little bit more prepared for it. Then on the 30th, so Thursday, the sun is trine Jupiter, and this is one of the absolute best aspects that we can have. This is really great to have right after that Mercury conjunct Pluto because, again, we had very high anxiety on Wednesday, and all of a sudden on Thursday, there's really no anxiety. Sun trine Jupiter is all about growth. It is prosperity. It is a time to invest, and I am not necessarily talking about like investments financially wise. However, that is sometimes not a bad idea either. This is a good time to invest in ourselves. Is there something that you've been wanting to do or have, or something that you've wanted to get to make your life easier? This is the time to get it. This is also a time that brings with it a lot of success. So this is the time to go and ask for things. This is the time to push yourself farther because you are more likely to find success. If you've been thinking about starting a project or asking for a raise or demanding something that people work with you a certain way, this is the time to do it. And then on the 1st, Venus will be conjunct Neptune. We will have zero motivation. So those of you who are working a 9 to 5, this is great because this is a Saturday. Those of us who are not, it's hard to push forward. When Venus is conjunct Neptune, there's going to be no motivation. There's going to be a lot of delusions about love. This is the time where people fall in love but aren't actually in love. This is the time where people may not have good communication with their partners. It's especially worrisome for people that are in newer relationships. This is something you have to really look out for. Or if you are looking for a relationship, this is the day to just have fun. Don't take things seriously. Relationships that have been around for a little bit longer have a little bit more experience. This happens often enough that communication is key, and just having a really good sense of yourself in a relationship can really help with those delusions. We tend to really only see the positives when Venus is conjunct Neptune, which is not necessarily a good thing. Looking at the positives is great, but there is a reason why we have the phrase toxic positivity. So if something seems a little too good to be true right now, it is. On the first, if something seems too good to be true, it is. If there's something that seems like it's an awesome opportunity or it's a really great thing, think on it a little bit. Give that energy time to drop away and see if you still feel the same way or if those delusions went away. So that is the astrology for the week. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back to give you the astrology next week.